Hey, Crosspointe family, and anybody else that is joining into this video. We're so excited. This week, we're jumping back into the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8. Looking forward to it for a while now. Now the small groups are getting ready to kick back off the next couple weeks. We're going to go ahead and dive on in and finish this book out strong. Where we ended back at really end of November, we finished chapter 7, where the preacher had been really trying to search out for wisdom. He spoke of the value of wisdom, that it is accessible, but it's also fleeting. It's hard to find. He said he searched 1,000 men and only found one that was wise. And so we understand the value of wisdom, living life in a broken world, and everything that we face under the sun, as he often refers to it, that oftentimes we find ourselves in situations that, man, we really need wisdom, not earthly wisdom, but godly wisdom, wisdom that is given from above the sun. And so when we begin chapter 8, he'll start off really with a question that really ties chapter 7 into chapter 8. And he asks the question, who is like the wise? Who can interpret a thing? And then he gives the value of having wisdom, that it even changes the countenance of the person who possesses it. And I'm thankful this Sunday is very practical, because he puts himself in this, or he describes a situation of one who's under a king's authority. And no, we don't have kings here in the United States, and we don't understand what it means to be a part of an earthly kingdom, but every single one of us find ourselves under someone else's authority, whether that's at work, that's at home, that's where you hang out, it's in your friend, like all of us find ourselves under authority. And oftentimes, because things are broken under the sun, we can find ourselves in a situation where, how do we continue to submit to that authority? Well, chapter 8 is going to help us with that, is gives us practical instructions of how to deal with those who are in authority over us, whether good or bad. And then doing what the preacher does is he'll remind us that even that wisdom has its limits, because there are things that we don't know the outcome. We don't know if it's going to be a good year, or if it's going to be a bad year. If I react this way, is it going to be a good response or a bad response? We don't know. And ultimately, there are so many things that we don't know, and he gives it to the utmost that we don't know the last day we're going to die. And so there are many things we don't know. So how do we navigate ultimately, practically, as believers in a system under the sun? How do we honor God with godly wisdom? How do we honor those who are above us? And is there ever a time that we don't submit, we take a stand? And so I'm hoping as you come this week that the Lord will help us to see the big picture of Ecclesiastes, but also very practical steps to how we continue to be a witness as followers of Jesus in a life or in a world that's broken under the sun, to be a light, and how we view and respond to authority in our life. And so be here this Sunday, 10 a.m. Invite somebody. Looking forward to seeing you this Sunday. Be blessed.